What if the person you can't stop thinking about isn't just someone you admire from afar, but someone you wish you could sit next to, laugh with, and quietly steal glances at during class? Now imagine that person is also standing on the biggest stages in the world, commanding millions of hearts with just one note. That's Jin. And right now, he's living in two worlds at once, and completely owning both. There are moments in an artist's career where everything aligns: timing, talent, emotion, connection. But what's happening with Jin right now feels bigger than that. It's like the world collectively paused, looked at him, and said, yeah, that's the one. Let's start with something simple, almost innocent. A poll, a question, a person you'd want to sit next to in a new semester. It sounds light, right? Maybe even playful. But when over 800,000 people vote and one name rises far above the rest, that's no longer just a game. That's a statement. Jin didn't just win. He overwhelmed the results with more than 42% of the votes, a gap so wide it almost feels like no one else was even in the race. And if you really think about it, it says something deeper. Because this isn't just about admiration, it's about closeness. People didn't choose the coolest artist. They didn't choose the most famous. They chose the one they felt comfortable with, safe with, happy next to. And somehow, Jin, who looks almost unreal, like he stepped out of a dream, makes people feel like he'd be the easiest person to sit beside. And this is where it gets emotional, because Jin isn't just perfect in the way people expect idols to be. He's something more complicated. On stage, he's untouchable. His voice cuts through the air, clear, controlled, and full of emotion that feels almost too honest. Every note he sings doesn't just sound good, it means something. There's a steadiness to him, a confidence, a quiet power. But off stage, he's playful, gentle, a little chaotic in the most comforting way. The kind of person who jokes at the wrong time, who laughs loudly, who makes you forget, even for a second, that he's one of the biggest stars in the world. And maybe that's why this poll hit so hard. Because people aren't just seeing Jin as a star anymore. They're seeing him as someone they could exist beside. But while fans are imagining these small, quiet moments, Jin is out there living something massive. The Arirang World Tour isn't just another tour. It's being called one of the largest, most impactful events in K-pop history. When BTS stepped onto the stage in Tampa, it wasn't just a concert. It was an experience. Lights, sound, energy. But above all, emotion. And Jin? He didn't just perform. He owned the stage. His vocals, often described as silver-toned, felt almost surreal live. Not shaky, not overwhelmed, just perfectly present. You could hear the control in his breathing, the weight in his delivery, the emotion he refuses to hold back. And in those moments, it's impossible not to think, this is the same person people want to sit next to in class. How can someone feel so close and so unreachable at the same time? And then come the numbers. Cold, objective, impossible to ignore. The album Arirang has been dominating Spotify's global charts for 6 straight weeks. Not just one song, not just one viral moment. All 14 tracks, charting, together. That means people aren't just listening casually, they're staying, they're replaying, they're feeling every single track. The title song Swim has been sitting in the global top 3 for over a month, a level of consistency that most artists never reach. And it doesn't stop there. From the UK charts to Japan's Oricon rankings, to France, Australia, Italy, Spain, BTS isn't just popular, they're everywhere. And at the center of it all, Jin stands, quietly shining, doing what he's always done, delivering. Here's something fans have been whispering lately. There's a shift happening. Every time Jin appears on stage, even in the smallest clip, the reaction feels bigger, stronger, faster, more emotional. It's like people aren't just watching him anymore, they're connecting to him. Some call it the Jin effect, that unexplainable pull. Not loud, not overwhelming, but steady, deep, lasting. The kind of presence that doesn't demand attention, but somehow keeps it anyway. And maybe that's what makes Jin so special right now. He exists in extremes. He's the guy who can fill a stadium and still feel like someone you'd share a quiet moment with. He's the visual king, but also the person whose warmth makes people stay. He's delivering world-class performances while making fans feel like they're part of something personal. And that balance? It's rare. So maybe this isn't just about a poll, or a tour, or chart rankings. maybe this is about something bigger, about how one person can make millions feel seen, comforted, and inspired, all at the same time. And maybe that's why when asked who they want to sit next to, people didn't hesitate. Because in a world that feels distant and overwhelming, Jin somehow feels close. And right now, the world isn't just watching him, it's falling for him all over again.